Hello guys, welcome to my channel Manverse Recaps. Today I am going to tell you a recap of a Manhua named Monarch of Judgement, so let's dive right into it. The chapter starts with a kid who is said to be a fighting genius. Even without fighting knowledge, he instinctively learns the most effective way to defeat an opponent, even if the opponent is old, big, strong, or has a lot of numbers. It wasn't a problem for the child. The child's mother was worried about him. She was afraid that her son would be seriously injured while fighting the older kids. When he was in 6th grade, he was taken away by 5 16-year-old middle school students who were trying to steal his pocket money. The boy fought them, and the result was very different from his mother's concerns. One middle school boy became blind, and another died on the spot. Since the boy was under the age of 14, he was not criminally punished. The mother cried and begged the child to never hit anyone again. She told him that if someone beats him, he should just get hit, even if he has to do something embarrassing. She wanted him to think of it as the punishment for killing a person. The story continues as we follow Hyuk, our main character, into his classroom. Waiting for him were 3 boys bullies. As it turns out, one of them punches Hyuk in the stomach and mockingly asks, "How was your morning?" Hyuk, keeping his cool, simply replies, "My morning is okay." Another boy then asks Hyuk if he finished his math homework. Hyuk says yes and hands over his notebook. The bully warned him, "If you don't start doing this faster, you're going to fall behind." In the next scene, we see the class president, Young Min-ji, observing the situation. She thinks to herself that if Hyuk hadn't been shaking his head like someone with a tic disorder, he might not have been targeted from the start. But in reality, Hyuk's thoughts are far from what she imagines. He's analyzing the bullies' fighting techniques, thinking how sloppy and slow their movements are. It's hard for him to keep up the act of being weak every time, but then he suddenly remembers the guilt and lifelong punishment he must endure for killing someone, a burden his mother reminded him of. But Hyuk couldn't help but wonder why everyone around him seemed so weak. Then something unexpected happened in the classroom. A giant bubble appeared, and inside it was a fighting ring. The atmosphere shifted instantly. There were no phone signals, and panic spread like wildfire among the students. One boy tried to kick down the door, but it wouldn't budge. The teacher attempted to calm everyone down, trying to maintain some order amidst the chaos. Suddenly, strange messages started appearing in the air, catching everyone's attention. While the others were fixated on these messages, Hyuk's mind was elsewhere. He began thinking that if everyone here decided to starve, then he would have no choice but to die with them. Then, suddenly, a boy stepped onto the fighting ring and a status screen appeared before his eyes. Curious, he began doing some exercises to see if the screen was real or just a figment of his imagination. Once he confirmed it was real, everyone around him was stunned. Without hesitation, that boy called out another student, Yong-gil-soo, to join him in the ring. An unknown force then began pushing Yong-gil-soo from behind, directing him toward the fighting ring. The class president quickly caught hold of him and pleaded with the others to help, but despite their efforts, they couldn't hold him back. A force field surrounded the ring, preventing anyone else from entering. The boy who issued the challenge taunted Yong-gil-soo, mocking him by saying how lucky he was that the class president was hugging him. He added that if she hugged him tighter, it would be even better, but she didn't because she has feelings for Hyuk, our main character. At that moment, the rules for the fighting ring were revealed. The atmosphere grew even tenser as everyone realized what was at stake. The rules of the fighting ring were as follows. 1. The person who climbs up into the ring can point out someone to fight. The chosen person must face the first challenger unless a substitute steps in. 2. Only the person who kills their opponent can leave the room. 3. Apart from these, there are no other rules. After these rules were revealed, the first boy began choking the second boy. Everyone in the room started shouting for him to stop, but then something unexpected happened. The boy who was being choked suddenly burst out with a surge of strength. Both he and the attacker were shocked. The second boy nearly broke the first boy's arm and, in that moment, realized that the bully who had tormented him wasn't invincible. A glimmer of hope sparked within him, and his confidence grew as he fought back with renewed vigor. Meanwhile, Hyuk quietly observed the fight. He concluded that while the second boy was physically stronger, the first boy was faster and had a reach advantage with his longer arms. The two boys fought ferociously, as if their lives depended on it, wielding inhuman strength that seemed to come from within the ring itself. Hyuk wondered if this was due to the karma points, because under normal circumstances, a person would surely end up with broken bones in such a brutal fight. The fight raged on, with both boys desperately battling each other, every strike filled with the intent to land just one more blow. The classroom was in complete chaos. Students were either too shocked or too terrified to react. In the midst of this pandemonium, the first boy gained the upper hand, unleashing a relentless barrage of punches on the second boy until, finally, the second boy died. The room fell into stunned silence as everyone watched in horror, only to see the lifeless body dissolve into dust. For Hyuk, the sight of blood brought back memories of when he was in 6th grade. The middle school student who died from a concussion the first time he witnessed a death. But this time, the killing wasn't by his hands, it was someone else's. The first boy who had just taken a life seemed to revel in the moment. He realized that by killing, he had become stronger, and with this newfound power, he decided that the more people he killed, the stronger he would become. With this twisted realization, he stood up and chose his next target, a girl. As the girl was pulled toward the ring by the mysterious force, everyone felt a deep sense of helplessness. They feared she would meet the same fate as the boy who had just died, as the rules dictated that someone had to fight. But then, something unexpected happened. Another girl stood up and offered herself as a substitute, stepping into the ring according to the second rule. The girl was none other than class president. The boy, clearly enjoying the sinister turn of events, taunted her, saying he was going to put on a live show for everyone to watch. But the girl, unfazed, simply smiled and responded with, "Hey, FKU."